something like I compare. Like
I
also
the comparison.
that's it. Because I have my best friends from the university there too.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, but then she was European. She was not European. Well, anyway, the culture is different.
But I don't think the cultural differences play such a role, especially when you're talking about an online forum, because there all you have is the language, the cultural.
Some of the other classes specifically try to arrange project groups. Like the Stanford design classes, like the Paul Kim class I thought did this, but the other design classes for sure, they actually sort of break the 100,000 people who signed up into small groups of 5 people.
They did that, but then again I was automatically put onto a group because you can either do it consciously or you'll be put up in a group. And then when I checked out on my group, everyone was inactive because we didn't know how to get it start going.
Yeah, that's the thing that I heard about it too, was that when you get placed into a group, a lot of times the other people that you're placed with are inactive.
Yes.
And so then...
And even I was inactive, and after a point of time, I was not interested in the course because I did not want to come up with a set of questions, the kind of essays you have to write, justify your learning environment. I want to do it hands-on. I mean, at least be a part of some group who are doing this real time. And that is my experience with that.
So the other thing that we're trying to explore now is how can we help? So the statistics on these things are that the online classes have about a 10% completion rate. And so our question is like what aspects of like, you know, being human are really necessary to this experience and can really sort of augment it. Like just you know, pointing a kid in Udacity and saying like everything you need to know to get a career in computer science is here. You know, you go for it and, you know, let me know when you're, you know, making money working for it.
As absurd as saying everything you want to know is on the internet.
Exactly. It's basically that. And so how can we create sort of a college environment? You know, how can we, you know, if you look at some of these human aspects of the college experience, like you know, some aspect of what you got was some formal education, but then some of what you got was this personal network of people who you were able to get jobs from, give jobs to, call and ask for help when you didn't understand something, you know, just, you know, think and talk about these things, you know.
And I'd like to add to that. Today morning I was again checking the website for the MOOC campus, and they have this frequently asked questions page. And the first question is, when I can learn everything online, why do I have to come to MOOC campus? And they've answered it, because living in your mother's basement is not as much fun. they put it that simple. So I think that is all. I mean, I think it's...
But then it can be supplemented with something like
yes, I mean, they are supplementing it in terms of giving them coaches, and also they are working in co-working space. I mean, they are running a co-working space at MOOC campus. So I think that is one of the added factors that we get.
So maybe instead of having a big university campus, you can have some kind of physical location where they could get together. And another thing I thought was, I mean, there are a lot of social networking sites which are doing a great job of connecting people. So for me, one of the things is, how do you register a person? I mean, one of the ways we, at least I and a lot of people register is face, like you have features that you recognize, you have something you associate. Those associations were not there, right? It's just Alex 120. That's what I know.
There's no photo mugshot.
No, I didn't see much photo.
You didn't have an option to upload yours.
Yeah, no, there's an option
There
to
was
upload
an option, but a
your
lot of people don't really
always
avail of
do.
it, or
I always do. And the moment I see it, I'm like, oh, put my face out there. And I have this one picture that I just go and put. It's like, sometimes people say like, now I've not cut my hair, and say, you're the same guy? You haven't cut your hair. Actually, yeah, that's the one I cut. But sorry. But
the mugshots were not there, but more,
so we're just discussing
more
about
than the mugshots. It's
and
you have a feel for a person, right? Like I've met you, I know, I make certain what do you call, judgment calls in my mind as to what I associate with you. Right? I associate this unconference with you. I associate organic whatever with you. So these associations I associate you taking
Video.
So those associations are also not there.
And that's missing in the online.
That's missing.
So that's an argument for a MOOC campus type thing.
Exactly.
I'm not sure that Facebook gives it to you. Like
Well,
maybe.
Facebook, sorry.
Yeah.
Facebook gives a little bit of the sense, let's say you go to my Facebook, right? You might get an idea about me by looking at the people that I have collected in my, I know that's not really a good indication of who I am, but maybe my activity, when you combine that with my activity level, it might give you some kind of indication,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's still
So it's something.
there.
For sure it's something.
Yes, something.
It's not obvious to me that it's as good as this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is something.
Yeah, it's not as good as this, but yeah, because I have friends who are from different continents and I'm not. But then I have that link with them because of something I've done with them. You know?
Yeah.
Do you think a Skype call would add to that dimension, or that's missing? It's like this face to face is different from a Skype call.
Again, we are all three-dimensional beings, but Skype call will help definitely better than just going online. But
Right.
yeah.
I mean, there's a person, this has got nothing to do with online education, but so this is nothing to do with online education,
Yes.
but I mean, there's somebody I connected with online, and she preferred to do the Skype call, and have video, and I would thought that women might be a little reserved about, let's do text as much as possible, and it's like we're just probably talking on Skype for 2 years. Maybe we call twice or thrice a year maximum. But when a call goes, it's like 2.5 hours on and catching up and stuff. It's like I know her. I've never met. I know when I go to Canada, I'll definitely say hi. When she comes to India, she'll definitely come to say hi. But I think Skype is pretty as good as this actually.
Yeah.
I think so.
And actually, Khadija, the 12-year-old who finished the artificial intelligence course and the physics course, and
Sorry?
this is 12-year-old in Lahore.
12-year-old.
12-year-old in
Yeah.
Lahore. She finished the artificial intelligence course, a graduate level Stanford course, which was offered online. So then, because she did this, she was invited to discuss on the panel where all of them who had started these platforms were discussing.
Yeah.
And this was asked her, what do you think about MOOCs? So
What do
then
you
she
think
said,
about?
What do you think about these MOOCs, massive open online courses?
Uh-huh.
They're called MOOCs.
Okay.
So she said MOOCs, these are her words, and she said MOOCs have brought a lot of peace in the world because there are no fights, there are no discussions, there are people helping each other. And then Thomas asked her, Thomas, the New York Times reporter, she was taking an interview of us. So then he asked her, were you able to make friends? And then she said, yes, on forums we discussed a lot, and I have friends in Iran, Turkey, and yes, I've been in touch with them. So I think it all boils down to your comfort with how comfortable are you with using the internet also. Participating in this forum, maybe you're so shy, you don't want to say something on the online. I think all of these features will add up to your experience of these online courses. Because I see that a few of them are really, really very, very active, and they take initiatives such as preparing notes for the entire course voluntarily. There's a wiki Udacity where people are making notes for each and every video and putting it up. It's like you're transcribing the video, and it's all voluntary. So they're really active members also, and then there's people who can drop out in the middle. So I think it's up to you as to how comfortable you are with these courses.
So I have a question. In the sense, these online courses is you have the text to read up about the subject, and then you go online and to answer questions to see how well you know the subject.
No, how it is structured is that it is like what happens in even perhaps better, what I feel, and better than the traditional university sense. Like what happens in a college is that you go to a class, attend a lecture, then maybe you'll be given some homework assignments,
Yeah.
whatever, and then eventually you write an exam, pass, get a certificate.
Correct.
So it is the same way that these online courses function. And only difference is now, instead of a 1-hour lecture, they have made it into short bits of 5 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds. Okay, and then you're given very small assignments, which you have to complete as you proceed through the course. And then you're also given the final exam and midterm exams online, okay, which you have to submit, and it's auto-evaluated, and you're given certification.
So when you do an online exam,
Yeah.
It's
How do
not
you make it
proctored, no?
credible?
Yeah.
Proctored.
So what's the thing on? Oh, I'm referencing the answer. Control F, fine.
Yes,
And
it is not as simple as just that,
I
because you'll
see.
not be asked to paste a text answer. It'll be something that where you'll have to work out. Like if I give you a math problem, you can't Google the math problem and find the answer. Maybe if it is available, but some of that stuff, right? Like,
Can you share something more about that?
Yeah, so the ones that I've seen, they give you small quizzes along the way, and it's really just to sort of like facilitate comprehension. So rather than tuning out during a lecture, they break the lecture into these 5-minute chunks, and then we'll have like a few multiple choice questions just to like keep you engaged and make sure that you're still following.
So let's say you have 5 minutes questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
5 minutes question.
Yeah.
Now, is it that you don't get to see this video, the second one, until you do these questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
I see.
Yeah.
No, you
So
could. You could.
Yeah, you might be
Oh,
able
you
to
can?
skip
You
ahead
can
if
skip
you
it?
want.
You could, but you don't get in
You don't get the
Udacity.
credit.
You don't get the credit. I mean, it tells you didn't go through.
yeah, I mean, on Udacity you can move on. You can even go to whatever chapter you want, but then it will always keep a tab as to once you've completed, and you get the certificate of completion only when
Finish
you
it.
either finish the final exam correctly, or I mean, it adds to your credit hours.
Okay.
The time you spent there.
And right now, they're also not being super aggressive about, Udacity anyway, about controlling for you having somebody else do the whole class for you. That, if you want somebody else to go through this entire class and put your name down, it's not
Okay,
really
it's like you're fooling yourself.
Yeah, it's like,
It's like, what's the point?
what's the point?
In fact, Sebastian had a very interesting answer to this. He says that he's not really worried about this because the vision that he has is to provide access to this material.
Information.
So if anyone is capable enough of getting this work done from another person, is as well capable of enough to get the job done in the real world. So he's really a great manager. That's what
You
Sebastian
guys.
No,
says.
that is very true because I was a team lead for a project, and the woman under me, she had an assignment to do, and she was supposed to do it, and I know it would take her 5 hours, so I give it to her, and she just wasted 5 hours, and then she called up her friend and did it. I was pissed off, but then I thought about it. If she can get it done, why do I care?
Right.
She can call that friend again and get it done.
So I really like that because I actually, from an IT, I'm from an IT background, and one of the things we do is provide technical support for the client's queries and stuff like that. So initially when we were running a little bit of a support help desk call center kind of thing, we used to look at the interviews and we'll say like, I wonder whether we'll get the guy who knows all of this stuff that he needs to respond to, right? And I think this is completely syncing with me what you guys are saying, because we used to say that, okay, here's your interview, we test the guy on attitude because that's 80% of what we do, and the 20% technical stuff, we'll say, here's a bunch of questions, why don't you give us the answers? And let's say they gave us, out of 10 questions, they give us 4 answers because they happen to know about it. Great. The other 6, here's a computer, there's Google. Go ahead and find the answers and get back to us. And they usually would come back. And then I'll quiz them again, but what do you mean by that? What do you mean? Have they understood what it is? And I don't care if they went to get it, as long as they can get the information.
Because
that's what I want them to do.
Exactly, because in what kind of an office environment
Yeah.
have you taken away all the resources and asked to perform?
Correct.
I mean, you have all the resources in the world to do it.
Correct.
You have the internet, you can make any number of calls.
Exactly.
But the important thing is you have to get the job done.
Exactly. Wonderful.
Where I feel it gets interesting from the perspective of trying to help people through these things,
Yeah.
is that I feel that college is one of the main places where these connections get established. That you go through college, you're studying computer science, and you develop a strong set of social connections to a bunch of other people who understand this material often better than you. And then when you actually get a job, these are the people you call. And so when you talk about this level of sort of cheating in some sense, somebody's in the job, I'm guessing, this woman, she probably called a college mate.
Right.
And so how do we create that for this MOOC campus kind of thing? That we're trying to get people social connections with other other people that when they're in a job and they don't understand something, that there's another human being that they can
Rely on.
that they can call and get sort of support at a social level as opposed to having to do something.
Apparently, they want to start in 2 minutes. I want to get your contact details.
We can